In life, we all get challenges. How you react after getting those challenges or after falling is what matters in your life. Some people have succeeded because of the challenges they've gotten in their lives. Today we are looking into Mpamizo's story, where he has been able to sacrifice and look into the challenges that he's had, but take advantage of them to keep him moving. What a topic to discuss today. Letting your challenges be your motivation. I'm Ivan, Tilda, and Alex. Let's listen to Dennis's story and we'll be right back to look into the story.
My name is Pam Zodenis. I'm an accountant by profession. After the university, my parents had great hope in me, and they felt like in whichever way I would build them out. So they took up a decision where they had to acquire a piece of land in expectation that I would pay the money that was paying for it. So they made a decision where they had to go and get money from a money lender and pressed there another piece of land as security, well knowing that at whatever cost I will have to pay. But remember, I was just a student and had just graduated and never had any other source of income. Fine. This was a challenge to me, and I had to do whatever it costs. First of all, to save the land they had put as security, but also to build them out from the shame they would undergo should they fail to pay. So I had to do all sorts of work. I had to make another radical decision that led me to northern Uganda. That was in 2008. By then, remember, Kony rebels were in talks with the government, and northern Uganda was really risky. I remember the experience I underwent when I had to rent to get a piece of a room where I would stay for my accommodation, but my legs, you would sleep when your legs are like, you check from your legs and you see that someone outside is actually seeing your legs and can pull them out in an event, or in an event he really has an issue with you. But that did not stop me from chasing my dream of making sure that I find money, first of all pay for the other piece of land, and secondly also make sure that I get out my parents from the situation they were in. At that very time, unfortunately, there was a huge wind which took off the roof of my parents, and that also made me even more run more wild, that at whatever cost I must get the money. Good enough, when I went to the north, I managed to clear the bills within a period of 2 months. In a period of 2 months, I cleared the land, had to put back the roof. But here came in another challenge. The challenge was that this house was a family house, and people felt like, should I work on the roof, then I will have taken charge of the house. And at the time when I was going to work on the roof, the family members raised. But when they raised, it also brought in another challenge, that I should actually buy a piece of land and construct a house. And that pushed me to work harder. I worked harder, saved more than I could consume, because at that very time I was earning 500 Ugandan shillings. 500,000 Ugandan shillings. But that money I could only eat. 100 and 400 was meant to work on the other projects in the village. And by the end of 1 year, I had bought a plot for my parents. I had built a house in that very plot, and my parents are now happy living in the same house. One of the lessons I learned out of this whole challenge was that actually at times we take comfort zones just because there are no challenges we are facing. We feel like there are people who provide solutions to our challenges. But when the challenge presents itself, you are forced to move out of your comfort zones and solve that challenge. And that's what pushed me. The next was that that actually when you save and work with that very mission of doing something, you actually do it. Because had I not saved almost 90% of my earnings and 10% of my earnings, then I wouldn't have achieved my dream.
Letting your challenges be your motivation and making sure that they keep you moving and give you a reason to even work hard, the sacrifice and all that you put in to make sure that you succeed.
So you find that what this gentleman went through is a typical Ugandan life. You know, we're seeing so many people perceived to be successful in these high offices with very good jobs, but if you track them back, and you look deeper into their lives, they have dependents, they have relatives, they have, you know, a bunch of people that are behind them, looking up to them for direction. And for this gentleman's case, it's his parents. For someone else out there, they are paying maybe school fees for their siblings. Other people are looking after possibly close relatives that require their support and help. But at the end of it all, how are you using most of these challenges around you as your motivation? How are you including these in your budget? How are you planning to know that much as I have my day-to-day survival and the things to plan for in my day-to-day life, I need to also put in effort to support someone else, support a relative, support your parents, support your loved ones with extra money that you can put away through saving. So this should also be incorporated into our plans and into our budget, so that as you have moved in the right direction, help someone up, pull someone up to move in that direction too. And in the end, you're also motivated and challenged to do much, much more. Your success ends up being your loved one's success.
How can someone use the challenges coming from their background? For example, we're seeing that the fact that he wanted to change what was happening back at his home about the issue of his parents, putting up a house for them and also buying land, trying to change that kind of background. How can someone change their humble background, or how can someone use their humble background to be their motivation to success? Alex?
One of the most important things that have helped me, because I'm the true representation of the humble background, is never to give up. And when I got one of my bosses, always tells me, Alex, never give up, and keeps me pushing. I fail today, tomorrow I can fail a billion times, and I've failed a billion times, but I've succeeded a few times. But the success, the power that comes with the success, outgrows the failures I've gone through. So never give up is a very much important thing. If you're outside there and you want to be wiser, never give up. The other things that keep us focused, that really keep us focused, the people you have on your side. Friends. Some friends can motivate you, can push you, can discourage you, but still remain focused. Put your eyes on the ball. Put your eyes on the ball every time you really want to see aside. You can have friends who love balls, who love women, who love marijuana, who love bad things, but keep your eyes focused on the ball. You can be in a situation like the war, everything. You fix to the tight side, but no.
Your finances can get so tight that you think that, oh my God, how will I make it? How will I be able to look after myself? I look after my nuclear family, and then also look after my extended family. but it's possible. Let us plan. Even if you contribute that little you're able to contribute, support a relative, at least to go to a school in the village. And you have done something.
And when
you
you
know?
talk of support of relatives, that's one of the best things really I've benefited from, having a background that cares.
Yes.
In terms of burial, in terms of parties, in terms of education, I found out that my background really appreciated things to do with education. So, and one of my uncles, when they were going to pay for me school fees, they asked my mom, instead of building for your house or taking your child to school, which one do you prefer? And my mom picked education. And I can come here and talk to the world and talk to the people and motivate them because of what I've gone through. And I can use the experience of today to tell everyone that it's very possible.
Talk about sacrifice. Now, when you talk about your mom leaving all the other offers she was given and deciding that she's taking on your education, that is a sacrifice. She's giving up on some other things to be able to give you what she believes will determine your future. The same applies to Dennis's story. Leaving out all the colleagues that he had studied with, for example, around Kampala, and going to the north, where at the time there was even war. But he decides whatever.
Sacrifice.
Yes, you hear about where he was sleeping, but he was sacrificing, making sure that he can change the story of his background. Share with us your experience, your story about how your challenges have helped you to earn your success. Get onto our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and on our YouTube channel. The question that you should ask yourself today is, how have your challenges motivated you? Get onto our social media platforms and share with us your experience. See you next time. Be money wiser.